tomato that I think all of you are familiar with is the green zebra. So let's talk a little bit about the history of that tomato, because of all the stories I'm going to tell you today, this is probably the most bizarre and funniest. This tomato was introduced in 1983 by a man by the name of Thomas P. Wagner, who had been working on this tomato since he was a boy in the 1950s. Now, what he wanted as a boy to do was to create a green tomato that he could throw at people. Because he figured, and this was way before we had goof and slime and stuff like that, he figured you could throw it at somebody, they'd get hit and covered with green, wouldn't know what had hit them. So that was his motivation for developing a green tomato. After he got out of his childhood, and hopefully out of that as a motivation, he decided that what he wanted to do was the challenge as a tomato developer was to grow a striped tomato that either had 40%, these are his words, 40%, 60%, or 90% stripes. But he also wanted the green tomato to have a zing in terms of flavor. And so after about 20 years of playing with green tomatoes and not hitting anybody with them, he fell in love with the green zebra, which he had developed and which he said had 60%, very specifically, 60% striping. His family said that was nice, but that this tomato would absolutely never catch on, one, because it was green, and two, because it had stripes. How wrong they were. Today, this is probably, if not the most popular green tomato, then certainly one of the most popular green tomatoes.